Hey, what's good? Hey, so it's George, professional biz coach. Hey, so um, I'm a government contractor. I'm a business coach as well as a military veteran. You see, I'm all got my whole military thing going on. But anyway, um, I want to talk a little bit about what you won't hear a lot of people talk about in the middleman strategy. Now, in the middleman strategy, that's when you can actually find a contract and you sub it to a person to do the contract on your behalf. So you find the contract, you sub it out, you arrange the relationship with the government and they're performing the service. You just basically are the liaison between the two parties. Okay? This is what you won't hear people talk about. So, say you are the contractor, you find a company to perform, let's say, plumbing services. Okay? And this is a plumbing contract. They have to go to a facility and clean roughly 1,000 plumbing jobs in 48 different locations. Okay, all on one compound. So you submit the contract, you get the offer, you win the bid. Now you've got this contract, and it's a pretty nice amount of money that you're making off of this contract. Now, what often happens is that some contracts are on an annual basis. Okay, and when they're on an annual basis, you may have to perform the work. Let's say this particular plumbing contract is a biannual, which is you're going to do it twice a year. So this particular contract, they say, hey, the government, I'm talking to government. The government says, hey, it seems like we're having a problem with the company or with your company who's performing the services for this plumbing contract, which happens. It happens. Sometimes you can get a bad person that really ain't who they are and who they say they are, and then they end up, almost making you lose the contract. Now, what people won't say is that to avoid that, always do a subcontracting agreement. Always. I don't care if it's for one day, because not only are you holding that subcontractor liable, legally liable, okay? It also kind of, serves as a warning that you ain't playing no mess when it comes to you doing when it comes to them performing their service. Okay, so I don't know how many of you ever had a opportunity where you subcontract some work, but I've had contracts where I've subcontracted work, and of course the government approached me that certain things weren't done. You're going to run into problems like that. Okay, now you have to make sure that you have documentation in place to hold that subcontract accountable. Hey, within that teaming agreement or within that subcontracting agreement, you can have clauses, just like the government's gonna have clauses with you. Okay, so you should be kind of mirroring the same as the government. The government's putting all these different requirements on you. You need to do the same for your subs. Okay, save you a lot of headache. Also, there have been situations where if you have a 5-year contract, let's say that plumbing contract was 5 years. Let's say it was you had the 1 year period of performance. and the option of 5 years, up to 5 years, okay? And you actually were awarded it each year, year after year. So you got this 5-year contract. Now, the contractor that you have, pretty good contractor. They're pretty much like trying to grow their business, so they end up branching off and doing some other things. Now, you as a prime contractor, what are you gonna do next? You have to find you somebody else to continue to perform the services, so that way you don't lose your contract. So you don't hear a lot of times people talk about some of the barriers or some of the obstacles that you go through or that you'll face when you are doing the middleman strategy. I'm just basically putting this out there because I really want you to be prepared when you start, finding these companies to go and do the work for you, and then they end up making you look bad with your business relationship with the government, because it's going to affect you, not them, because you're the one that's going to be under the contract. So if you don't pay attention to that, and you're not focused on who you putting in those positions, then I won't say they'll blackball you, but sometimes they can put they got this system that they use. It's the contracting performance AP something. But that system is where they do all the evaluations for contractors. Okay, it's like a report. So they just go in there. Sometimes if an agency sees a company that they want to do business with, they're gonna go and check their evaluations and just see, hey, okay, all right, they doing what they supposed to do, cool. Yeah, and that's how you get bigger and bigger contracts anyway. It's just not based off of your past performance. They do evaluations as well. You get annual evaluations from some agencies. So you have to perform these contracts. So being the middleman don't necessarily mean you just get a contract and you just give it to somebody else and you just walk off. You still adding value to the government. You got to submit invoices. You have to sometimes submit emails, reports, little things like that. Now, I've had contracts where I spent out of the whole month, maybe an hour to 2 hours of me doing any work on the invoice. So I'm not spending a lot of time on these particular contracts itself. But you have to be involved. You have to be involved as a contractor, because ultimately it's going to be your business who's going to be affected. So, that's just food for thought. All right. So, hey, hope y'all have a good day.